Hey, JK here. I want to thank you for sharing part of your day with me.
Y'all ready for this?
Another week of fantasy baseball is down, and we're going to take a look back at week 4. This was the first week we had a little bit of life from some of these guys. We also had our first bit of rough patch with some of our teams, but it is all good. Long season, again, only week 4. Let's go ahead and get into it. The Kent Murphy Dingers, man, they had a rough week, but were able to pull it out in the weekend matchups. I was able to come out with a victory 6-4. A lot of help from my big first baseman, Nick Kurtz and Matt Olson. Both of them had at least 3 home runs, at least 7 runs scored, and at least a 290 batting average. Matt Olson had 9 RBIs for me. Nick Kurtz only had 3. Let's get some more guys on base, but also let's not bat you first overall, man. Let's not bat leadoff. Let's put you back at 3 or 4, because Soderstrom not doing it anymore, guys. Come on, Nick Kurtz. I need you to do more. We also had guys showing power with 2 home runs each, Hunter Goodman, Dalen Lyle, and Riley Green. We also had 2 stolen bases each from Mr. Zach Neto and Corbin Carroll. There was no good pitching this week. It was just a overall bad week for pitching. So that's going to put us on over to the bad pitching. Christopher Sanchez, Brian Wu, Paul Sewald, Didier Fuentes, and Mr. Brian King all had ERAs between 10 and 40. That is not good. And then we also had just slow weeks from, of all people, Alec Burleson. He was supposed to be like the offense for the Cardinals and just not doing a whole lot. And then old Chappie, Matt Chapman, not doing a ton for me. Due to the ass drops, it was a ton of pitching. But there was one fielder that we were able to grab. We added Tanner Scott because Edwin Diaz went down. We added Didier Fuentes, who was supposed to have a great matchup with the Nationals, and he did not. And also, Roberto Perdomo. That's right, the shortstop from the Diamondbacks. Great season last year. Not sure he's going to keep it up. I also do have my boy Zach Neto, so he's going to be mainstay, but who knows? Perdomo might do a little something for him. On the other end, we dropped Didier Fuentes, we dropped Brian King, and we dropped Dean Kramer. Unfortunately, he will be on the IL for a few weeks, and we won't be able to use him because we already have all of our IL spots filled. But a 4-1 start through the technically 5 weeks because it was a short, cheapy week. But 4-1, not bad at all. And the next team we're going to talk about is the Cucumbas, our newest team. I really thought I was going to lose this week. This is a rolling wins, losses, ties league. So again, if I do lose a week, it's still okay. And as long as I'm still accumulating positive win stats. But I really thought I was going to lose. I was going against the worst team in the league. But I ended up winning 6-3. I had 1 tie. Ooh, I don't like ties. This brought my record to 30 wins, 18 losses, and 2 ties. Again, not where I want to be, but not the worst thing in the world. We had a lot of help from Mr. Dalen Lyle, Riley Green, and of all people, Sal Stewart. Now, why do I say of all people, Sal Stewart? Because I don't know if I expected him to be this good. He had just this week 10 RBIs and 3 stolen bases. I also had 7 more guys with at least a 333 batting average. Wow. Putting up some numbers. Also, Mr. Spaghetti Arrighetti doing some work for me. 2 wins and 10 strikeouts this past week. Brother, I'm not saying I want the Astros to do well just for him, but I'm saying if Arrighetti Spaghetti is going to continue to do well, I will take wins on those days when he starts. Let's move on to the people that did bad. Same usual suspects pitching that did poorly for me with the Kent Murphy Dingers. Wu, Sanchez, Paul Sewald. What the heck, guys? Like, y'all really dropped the ball. Then, super slow week from Mr. Stephen Kwan and Mr. Dylan Dingler. No dingers for the Dingler this week. What's up with that? We're going to move on over to the Azure Drops where we were able to pick up Trevor Meagle, my boy Miguel, closer, our former closer for the Brewers. Look, I don't know if he's going to take over, but if he does, I got him. Also picked up Patrick Corbin, not because I like him, but because we needed some strikeouts. And then Jung Ho Lee. That man is on fire. We needed him, and he came through big for us, getting 4 hits on Sunday. So, woo! On the other side, we dropped Justin Wroblewski. Probably shouldn't have dropped him. Andres Jimenez, because he wasn't starting every day for me and didn't do what I wanted him to do, get some stolen bases, get some batting average. Nope. And then, unfortunately, we did have to drop Sal Frelick. I love Sally Boy, but, oh man, he is barely batting 200 this year. 1 stolen base. He does have like 12 walks, so that's good, but this is an OPB league, so doesn't matter. Into week 5, we're one of a few teams that are bunched together within a game or two of first place. Now again, I'm not getting too overexcited about it. I'm not getting too antsy, but I am happy with the way my pitching has panned out. You know, got to make sure we get some good starts from Sanchez and Wu and some of those other guys. But again, Skubal had a blow up last week or 2 weeks ago. You know, has been okay ever since. So again, not terribly worried. Long season, but I like how we started. Now we're gonna move on over to the Cheese Weasels. This is the Roto League, and we were down to like 78 points at one point in time last week. Well, at the start of this week, we're up to 5th place. So it's only jumped to one spot, but we are at 102 points. The biggest reason for our jump in points was the home runs. We had a ton of guys hitting home runs this past week. The main one being Spencer Torkelson. He had 5. We also had guys like Trey Turner, Alvarez, Dalen Lyle. Oh my goodness, Mickey Moniak hit some. Agustin Ramirez. Oh my gosh, like all those guys had at least 1. Some of those guys had 2. I will absolutely take it. Nico Horner had 1. He also had some stolen bases along with Zach Neto. So all these guys are contributing like wildfire. Also, walks-wise, Taylor Ward had 8 and Mr. Dalen Lyle had 7. So my guys are getting on base, they're getting around to score runs, and obviously they're leaving the yard. I'm okay with that. Keep it up, fellas. Almost forgot, Josh Jung. I know it's Young, but we're going to say Jung because I've always pronounced it just for the sake of it. Jung had 2 home runs for me. And speaking of home runs, I had 2 pitchers hit home runs for me. Not literally home runs, but just doing well. Paul Skeens, a no-hitter into the 7th, that got me a win. Devin Williams screwed up a 9th inning, but didn't get a blown save, still got the win. What's up? Jeff Hoffman got you a save and a hold or 2. Okay. Jason Adam got you 2 holds, but we had no blown saves. Thank goodness. Oh my gosh. We don't know to the other side. We missed a home run by Dalen Lyle. Could have had 2 on the week for him, but like I said, we missed it. You know what else I missed? The closers knowing how to close games. I missed that. Jeff Hoffman, Abner Uribe, Devin Williams, Paul Sewald. Did y'all forget how to do that this week? No blown saves, but you definitely hurt my losses. You definitely hurt my area, and you definitely hurt my whip. Like, what are you doing, guys? In any case, as we move on over the adds and drops, we only had 1. Luckily, we were able to pick up Josh Jung. I know it's Josh Jung. And we dropped Max Muncy. Just wasn't doing it anymore. So again, we're sitting over 100 points, still in 5th spot, but we have a long season to jump up in the standings, and we are going to be getting some pitchers back here soon. Oh, thank goodness. So glad we got Zach Wheeler back. We have Mr. Spencer Strider coming this week, so we're in good shape. 3 down with the Yahoo leagues, 3 to go with the ESPN leagues. We're going to start with the Peach Creek Purgatory team. This one was pretty much always in the bag. All of last week we were leading by a substantial amount, so we were able to extend our win streak to 5 dating back to last season, but start 4-0 this year with a 1,034 to 758 victory. Top scorer was Matt Olson, followed by my boy Riley Green with 68, and then Max Muncy with 64. Coming on real strong last week with like 4 or 5 home runs. Yikes. The only person who did bad for us was Framber Valdez. He only got us 12 points. Not really terrible, but you know, wanted more from you, man. You're usually a little better than that. Unfortunately, we did miss the big games by Christian Walker and Nolan Arenado, so we could have scored even more points, but we pretty much beat the dead horse with the score, beat him by almost 300 points. But there were no adds or drops for this team, so I'm pretty happy with that. Didn't need to do a ton with our guys. Injuries are still there, but yeah, pretty happy with the production. On the other hand, I'm not happy with the production from these last 2 teams. We finally hit bumps in the road with these, and it was really the pitching that let me down. The hitting was close enough to be competitive, but nowhere close to actually winning. You'll kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. First of the losing teams we're going to talk about is the Russell My Gym Jams team. We went 3, 9, and 4 this past week, and our hitting was there, but not quite enough. But that's going to happen when you're facing Mr. Judge, Mr. Soto, Mr. Harper, Mr. Baldwin, Mr. Machado. Those are big-time players making big-time plays. Vladdy Daddy was on that team. So I'm not saying we had a reason to lose, but I'm also saying that was probably the reason we lost. 2 Rockies led us in extra base hits, Hunter Goodman and Mickey Moniak. Those same 2 Rockies and Dalen Lyle both had 2 home runs each for me. Continuing with the trend of talking about guys from before, we had 7 walks from Mr. Dalen Lyle and 8 from Taylor Ward, even though you only have 1 home run. What are you doing? The pitching positives came from the categories we tied in. Wins from Kevin Gausman and Graham Ashcraft. That's weird. Here's your reliever. And then holds from Gabe Spire, Jeff Hoffman, Trevor Meagle, and Hunter Gaddis. That makes sense. Could we have won those? Abso-freaking-lutely. Brian King, Jeff Hoffman, Jordan Romano, and Alex Vesia. You blew up my wins, my holds, my saves, my ERA, and my whip. What? Also had very slow weeks offensively from some of the names like Brandon Nimmo, Jeremiah Jackson, Alec Burleson, Sal Frelick, Alec Bohm, Matt Chapman, all those guys. Where were you, man? We could have used a hit or two or four. Who knows? You know, what are you doing? Under the as and drops, we were absolutely depending on the pitching with saves and holds to help us as we did pick up Jeff Hoffman, Trevor Meagle, Ben Brown. That was a good one, even though he did get us a loss this week already. Dang. And Jacob Marcy. So only hitting 190, but you got 18 walks and 10 stolen bases, so you're doing something right. Just get on base a little bit more, dude. And then on the other side, the drops were Carson Williams, Logan O'Hoppe, even though I really like Logan O'Hoppe, Lourdes Gurriel, really like Lourdes Gurriel, and then Jordan Romano because he forgot how to pitch and was very quickly dispatched up. Even with this bad week, our record is 31, 21, and 12. Definitely not where I want it to be, but not the worst thing in the world. We're definitely still looking to make some adds and drops. We've made some tough decisions. We're going to have to make more tough decisions. We have to get better players. The last team we're talking about is the South Harmon Institute of Technology, where again, this was a frustrating week. We lost 4-9-5. This is another situation where my opponent had just really hot players. Nico Horner, you always have to talk about James Wood, my boy Nick Kurtz, Drake Baldwin, Gunnar Henderson, all of them came to life this week. It is what it is. Now, my pitching did a little better than that, my opponent's pitching, because his pitching was awful. Mine wasn't great, but his was even worse. Positive contributions started with Matt Olson with 21 total bases, 3 home runs, and 9 RBIs. Then we had 13 total bases and 2 home runs each from Dalen Lyle and Mickey Moniak. Dalen Lyle also had 7 walks, while Taylor Ward had 8 walks. We had no blown saves, so that was great. However, 2 losses from relievers that could have or should have won us a few more categories. That is unfortunate. Speaking of disappointments and pitching in the same sentence, Mr. Christopher Sanchez, Mr. Paul Sewald, Cade Smith, and Brandon Woodruff. All of you did poorly for me. And on the hitting side, Abrams, Laureano, Freeman, and Turang all took breaks this past week. Didn't help me with much of anything. That stinks. In order for the adds and drops, it was kind of a mad dash towards the end. I was trying to salvage a few categories, but didn't end up working for me. We picked up Mickey Moniak. That was good. Peyton Tolley. That was an accident. We also picked up Patrick Corbin. Oh, man, you should have stayed in one freaking more third of an inning, and you would have gotten me the win. Also picked up Nick Gonzalez, who has second, third, and shortstop eligibility, and Rays pitcher Brian Baker. We dropped, to make room for those guys, Mr. Lourdes Gurriel. That hurt my feelings. Also, Tyler Rogers. That hurt my feelings. Patrick Corbin. That didn't hurt my feelings because he should have stayed in one more third of an inning to get me the win and the category. We also dropped Peyton Tolley, and then Alec Bohm. I can't stand Alec Bohm. I'm so mad at him. Despite this bad week, we're still sitting at 36, 24, and 12. Definitely don't like all those 12 ties, but it is what it is. As long as we keep it at, in my opinion, an even number, we're getting full wins. I don't like the half wins because that's what we lost by a few years ago, and I really don't like that. But in any case, still doing pretty good. So early in the season, let's keep up the good work. Now we're going to move on to the people I think should add. And we talked about one of them, Nick Gonzalez. He has second, third, and short eligibility. He is not doing much of anything sexy for you, but he is batting over 320. He is getting on base, and he has some guys behind him putting the ball into play. Now we'll talk about some outfielders, some a little more well-known than others. Jung Ho Lee, he's batting like 320. Not going to get your home runs, but get you some walks, get you some bases, and where he's going to be hitting the top of that lineup, he's got some guys behind him putting the ball into play. Now, again, that's a big ballpark. I don't know if anyone's going to be hitting a ton of home runs, which makes me sad because I have Matt Chapman, but it's a big enough area. Gets in the gap, shoot, man, he can have a triple or even an inside the park home run. So he might trip into 5 or 10 home runs this year. I also want to talk about Cortez. I can't think of his first name off the top of my head, but he plays for the A's. Kind of going off, a good average these past week or two. Might want to look at him. Not going to be anyone that's going to win your league, but who knows, man. There's also a guy in Arizona. Holy cow, he's a first and second base eligible guy. I think he's like Vargas or something. Wow. He's 34, and this is like the best season he's had. He has like matched his, not career highs, but like what he's done over the course of his entire career, journeyman. Yeah, I don't know if that guy's going to be the one to win your league, but he's hot. So go ahead and look at him for at least, very similar to Fernandez. I think he's a shortstop, outfield eligible guy. Those guys are hot right now. I don't know if they're going to stay hot, but look at him while you can, right? I also have to say, just as a Yankees fan, Jason Dominguez called up. I'm not putting much stock into it, but think about it. Someone who is absolutely mashing at AAA, Noelvi Marte. He's hitting like 450, 8 home runs to like 10 games, some crazy number, stuff like that. Look at him. The Reds are absolutely gonna have to call him up, Mike, because Suarez is out. He could play third. Shoot, Marte could and should be on your radar. Another guy coming up from AAA, Trevin Bazana for the Indians. I don't know if they still like what Arias is doing. Rocchio could play here and there. I don't know, man. I don't know if he's going to be an everyday guy, but they finally called him up. So be looking for him. Moving on over to the pitching. Again, looking at anyone in that Dodgers bullpen, Vesia, Tanner Scott, Blake Trinan. I know you got, a few more there. So be looking at them. Looking with the Blue Jays, again, we talked about Varland, talked about Hoffman. I think Hoffman will end up taking it back over. Varland's, he's got some good stuff, but not like fully closer stuff. I am really intrigued with how the Cubs are going to overcome this, because Palencia is out. I don't know how much longer he's going to be out. Caleb Thibar is out. Ben Brown could be a guy who steps up, but then he let up a few runs last night, something like that, because he's on one of our teams. So, I mean, holy cow, dude. What is happening? Need these closers to lock down. And then I did pick up Brian Baker, so but don't regret that. That is going to do it for the recaps and the people I think you should add. 4 out of the 6 teams doing well this week, taking a step forward. The other 2, I'm not upset with you. I'm just disappointed. Need you to do better, though. I expected more from you. I'm excited about this upcoming week and getting back on the right track with all my teams and are staying on the right track. As always, this is JK Cannell. Thank you for sharing part of your day with me.